with the football game.
Tatum drives down and throws it down. Wow.
To throw, rainbows it down the right side for Kyle Pitts. He's got it. He's there. Touchdown. Oh, my.
Oh my, indeed. Welcome back, everybody, to the Sports Bits podcast. And today, honestly, I think we have a pretty good segment going.
Oh, exactly. Honestly, I'll be honest. We did it all last night, but it's gonna be good.
Last minute. I mean, that's the best way to do it. If you ever written a paper for school, it's always the best way to do it.
Yes.
Minute.
There you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you want to jump right into it? Or is it about your team?
I'm ready. Because we're gonna start with a new segment as our first one. It's a lot going on with my team, the Boston Celtics. I wore this shirt for a reason because we're going to be talking about them today. But the first thing is earlier this week, Marcus Smart made some comments about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and the team in general. His exact quote: "Every team is programmed and studied to stop Jason and Jaylen Brown. And I think everyone's scouting report is to make those guys try to pass the ball. They don't want to pass the ball." That's what Marcus Smart said, which really pissed Jason, Jaylen Brown, and also especially Ime Udoka, who's like trying to get these guys to like be cohesive as a team, and Marcus Smart comes out with that stuff. Uncalled for. Very uncalled for.
Do you think it was out of pocket?
I think he was just speaking his mind. So
I mean, we all know that Marcus Smart does like to speak his mind, but would you call it out of pocket necessarily?
I wouldn't call it out of pocket. I think it was a very necessary comment that needed to be stated. I think that Jaylen Brown and Tatum do really need to pass the ball. This is becoming an ongoing issue, and that we've seen previously from last season. So I think that things need to change, and I think that Udoka needs to make that more apparent that Smart's right, and that they need to share the ball and need to be more of a cohesive unit because they're not acting like it right now.
Yeah, and I want to read the other Jaylen Brown's little clapback per se during his press conference, but it was but we all communicate and talk to each other, so we're trying to find ways to win and open to try anything and everything when guys bring it up to me, coach and the coaching staff. I'm always watching film to try to better myself and to be a better basketball player and find ways to make my teammates better. So it felt good to get a win today. So that was after the Magic win. But again, like he's alluding to the comments of Marcus Smart, saying that, hey, communication is part of this, and also like he's open to trying new things. And sure, watching the Celtics like my whole life and watching Jason and Jaylen Brown, like growing up with them, their main play style is mainly shot creating, ISO ball. You know, you don't expect them to pass too much. I don't know what exactly. I guess Jaylen Brown's trying to allude to saying he'll try like to pass more, try different, like trying to be a facilitator, trying to be, doing different things on the offense except for scoring, because that's usually his role back in the day when Brad Stevens was a coach. So I mean, that's what my thoughts about Jaylen Brown's comments at least. I don't know what y'all are. A little reaction on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think James summed it up pretty well. Also, I think that Marcus Smart definitely said something that needed to be said. They got to start playing better team ball. That's for sure. But I do think that maybe they could have talked about it outside of the press conference first. Before they kind of just started throwing shade at each other. Yeah. However, that does lead us into the next part about this, where there was a players meeting on Wednesday before the game versus Orlando. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about that?
Specifically, I also read up on it. It was mainly Marcus, Jaylen, Jason, but also there's like a couple other players. So it wasn't the whole 15-man roster. It was mainly the starting lineup that met together. So just to preface that.
I mean, I think that it's good for them. I think that they recognize that there's an issue that needs to be handled, and that clearly there are some guys that are upset about it, and they need to work together, like I mentioned before. So I mean, holding this meeting definitely I would like to think held some kind of impact.
Right, that it was a good idea.
Yeah, and that it was a good idea.
I think that personally, I think you can go one of two ways. I think you can say yes, like it's a good thing that they were having this player only meeting. But at the same time, then it almost leads me to think that is maybe Udoka the problem? Is the coach the problem?
And
is
their
system the problem? Maybe it's not the players, maybe it's the system right now.
It's possible. But I do think that the players definitely take a part in it because, I mean, like Makoto was saying, like, Jason Tatum and Brown are, like, we know that these guys are, like, ball-first guys that need the ball and are ISO players. But, I definitely think that Jaylen Brown said the right thing. I don't know if he was told by his agent to say it or anything, but he definitely did say the right thing as the little response to what Smart had said earlier. But like I said, I think the meeting should overall go well, but I mean we'll see how it goes in the next couple games. I mean the Celtics are still struggling, as we've written down that Tatum is shooting 38% and Brown's starting to play a little bit better, but
I mean Brown's been having a pretty good season by himself.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
It's not been translating with team success.
Exactly.
However, the Heat game, which was last night,
We watched that game, and I was like,
absolutely destroyed them. Even with Tatum not scoring a single field goal until 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, like, the whole game as a Celtics fan, I was like, we have a 20-point lead, but like I don't feel safe with the 20-point lead at all, because I've seen them blow.
Especially against the Heat. Not only is it a Celtics problem, but also the Heat are known to be a team that can go on a really good run, just get a few stops and then go on a fat run.
Yeah, because they're an insanely good well-coached team and have
well-disciplined as well.
Well-disciplined, because Jimmy Butler and Spoelstra are great people, like when it comes to mentality, like team-wise to have. Which I wish Jimmy would be on our team to like set these guys straight. And
That's
get
who Marcus Smart is supposed to be, the Celtics version of Jimmy Butler. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's definitely gonna. This players only meeting, I think, is really well. This and also like with the Heat game, the fact that they did not squeak out a win. You guys won by like 24
we won like
points,
20,
I think it was, or something
24.
like that. So I think that maybe this players meeting is going to translate to some later season success now for you guys.
I'd like to think so, just because we've seen how that Celtics unit can work together as a team and be a really good, productive team together.
Do you remember the Scary Terry years with Scary Terry, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Al Horford? That team was, oh my God! I wish we had that team back, but we don't.
It was a solid team, and they made some effort in the playoffs. I mean, I don't see at all how that could happen again. They just got to get their shit together.
Game 7 Eastern Conference Finals against LeBron. I'm just saying, if only we have. I mean, I don't know. It was inexperience. I can't say that we would have won that Eastern Conference Finals against LeBron and with the Cavs and everything, just because of our inexperience. But like, it shows what we can do as like our young, or what at least our young core can do.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. And apparently Jason Tatum's still 19. So I mean, like that's
he'll be 19 until he wins a ring.
Yeah,
or an MVP.
There we go. All right. So next one, I think.
James, you want to?
James should take the lead on this one.
Segment off for
so
us.
And let's preface this. We're not being political. We're just reporting on what's been going on. Like what happened.
This is a purely informational set.
So there you go.
I love how our neighbors decide to start vacuuming now.
It'll be fine. Like, we have the mics here, and I think we're not using the ad audio, so we'll be fine. So
but,
let's move on to the Suns, though.
Yeah. So this was quite unfortunate news for me to hear. Although I never liked him as our GM or our owner, I should say. But Robert Sarver, for the owner of the Phoenix Suns, who purchased the Suns back in 2004. Is now going under a large scandal and allegations against him of 70 current former Suns employees, claiming that he was very hostile and as well as using racial and sexual derogatory terms in the workplace. This
you get to hear the great work of your landlord.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on.
And yes, our landlord is vacuuming right now. But anyway,
vacuuming outside.
It saddens me that this was the case, because we've seen cases like this in similar circumstances a couple years back with the Clippers. With what's his name?
Oh, Jesus Christ! I know Steve Ballmer purchased from this guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Look that up for me real quick.
That's the reason why Steve Ballmer is now the owner of the Clippers, because of that scandal.
Once I get that real quick.
Donald Sterling.
And
I think this is actually the second, or this would be Adam Silver's like third scandal. I know something happened with the Hawks as well.
Yeah. So this is a very appalling thing to see, and unfortunately, my owner of my favorite team is probably going to get fired, but I'd be completely fine with that, and I would prefer if he did, because Robert Sarver, even though as well as he ran the organization, did not do as good of a job as I think that other people could. Mm-hmm. But like I said, obviously there's no exception for this kind of like action and behavior in the workplace, especially from an owner of a team.
Right. And also,
like
it's so many employees coming out like saying this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just like these isolated incidents. So it's very unfortunate to hear about. And I'm sure Adam Silver is probably very upset. Yeah. Not only because obviously this is happening, but now this is the third big scandal that he's had to deal with, and he's been the commissioner since when exactly? 2000. I want to say 2007.
Yeah,
around that time. But yeah. So basically, it's. I hate seeing this happen because you never want to see something like this happen with the NBA, but it is something that happens in real life and is a genuine issue and is still an ongoing issue. Like we said, we're not going to make this too political, but I mean it is a problem in our world today. But ultimately, the NBA Board of Governors will remove Robert Sarver based off of a 3/4 vote. If that happens to pass, he will be removed. If not, then he will stay in position. But most likely, more than not, they will definitely pass that.
And even if they don't pass it, I'm pretty confident that
the whole team, including Chris Paul,
the organization is probably going to strongly urge him to resign.
And I think the biggest name who's going to push the hand is Chris Paul on the team.
Absolutely.
Who was a former NBA Player Association president and understands all that stuff. And I think you can comment on more, but I think he'd be the biggest voice when it comes.
He's definitely going to be a big proponent about this. I'm actually surprised that I haven't heard comments from him yet, because this has been about a week, maybe half a week or something going on. So I'm surprised he hasn't said anything yet.
But the last thing that I wanted to add to this before you guys take the roll on it was that the former GM of the general manager of the Suns, the former one, had reached out to the entire current team, including guys specifying, saying Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, and DeAndre Ayton, let me know if you need anything that I can do for you. I really don't want to see this happen, and if you guys have anything that you need to talk to me about, let me know. I thought that was a really good statement for him to put out publicly.
Was he the GM when they drafted Booker, Mikal, and everybody? Okay, so that's why there's a personal connection there. Yeah. That explains a lot about all that stuff.
So yeah, it's also interesting to me. I know we kind of want to get away from this, but I just have a few more things to say about it. Robert Sarver said he welcomes an impartial, third-party investigation from the NBA. Yeah. Which, I mean, obviously you can say whatever you want, but I think that's a little interesting. If he knows that he's been saying these whack ass comments, and now he's come in and investigate it. Yeah. And I know one employee said that if Adam Silver did come in and investigate it, he would be, quote, appalled by what he would find. So I mean, this is really only time's going to tell what's going to happen with this, but definitely an unfortunate situation. But on a brighter note for the Suns, we have a nice little debate segment that we're going to bring up.
Based on the news that happened a couple days ago.
So just a few days ago, I think it was on Tuesday, Chris Paul officially passed Steve Nash on the all-time assist leaderboard. So now, right now, it's only Stockton and Kidd in front of Chris Paul right now, with 15,806 assists for Stockton, leading the entire NBA all-time right now. Yeah. So what we're going to talk about today.
Pause. Play the video up here of Steve Nash's reaction in the 10-minute video. You'll see that in the 10-minute video, we're going to have Nash's reaction to that. He legit says, God damn it, or something like that in a press conference, and just goes on to that.
It was kind of funny.
So, play that video. We're going to get it onto the debate.
All right, so right now we have, a big Chris Paul fan over here, Lob City fan. We also have a big Suns fan over here. So, honestly, I'm probably just going to take a back seat for this, and you guys just go at it.
Yeah. I'll let Nash start because he did get passed, but I'll let Nash's side go ahead.
All right. Well,
first, I want to preface this. I respect both players, and I think we both respect both players.
Obviously,
we're just trying to make a case of which player would be better. Just
all time right now. We're debating on who is better all time as of right now.
And let's preface this that Chris Paul has only been in the league for 16 seasons, and Nash retired after 17 seasons. So this is about equal. If we're pulling numbers, they're kind of relative to what they should be at the same. At the times they were retired, and Chris Paul is now currently. So we'll just preface that before we start.
But yeah. So basically, obviously, like I said, I respect Chris Paul highly as a player. Congratulations to him for passing Steve Nash on the all-time assist leading sheet. But I will say and preface that Steve Nash is one of my favorite players of all time, if not my favorite player of all time, and he was astonishing to watch as a kid. But ultimately, he also had a massive impact on the game. He was known as one of the single greatest passers in our league's history. I would throw in Jason Kidd as well in there, and John Stockton. I would throw in the infamous white chocolate
yes,
as well as Chris
Jason
Paul.
Williams.
But
best highlights.
There was a certain finesse that Steve Nash had that astounded me. Even more as a child, and as I got to study his game more throughout the years, I tried to emulate as much as possible as I could from him. But
even though I say your game's more of a Westbrook type of game, but you see a little bit of that.
Anyway,
of that.
Give the man a little more credit. He has a nicer jump shot than Westbrook.
Yes, agreed.
But ultimately, getting into the debate, Steve Nash is a two-time MVP in the years of 2005 and 2006. He is an 8-time NBA All-Star, a 3-time All-NBA First Team, a 2-time All-NBA Second Team, and a 2-time All-NBA Third Team, a 5-time assist leader, and a 4-time 50-40-90 club honoree.
Damn.
Additionally, he made the 75th anniversary team for the NBA this year, and he has now held 2 rings for being on the Warriors coaching staff. I will not count that towards this debate because they are not legitimate rings as a player. No. However, they are somewhat important to this current times based on the fact that KD is now on the Nets with Steve Nash as his coaching position. And I definitely think that held a lot of impact on it. But
just to interrupt real quick, I think that could actually become relevant because I do definitely see Chris Paul after retiring becoming a coach as well.
I would like to see Chris Paul.
I
as
definitely
coach
could
for
see
sure.
that happen.
I think that he would be a good coach for sure. But getting back into my point. Steve Nash is, like I said, one of the greatest passers that we've ever seen, and his assists can back that up for him. Like multiple years, he had more than double-digit assists in averaging on seasons. Specifically in his MVP seasons, he had more than 10 assists by a long shot. And even though he may not have scored a lot, he was an extremely efficient shooter, which is why he was in the 40-50-90 club for 4 times.
Yeah.
Additionally, with that, he was known as one of the greatest free throw shooters of all time, and at the time he held many records for the free throw percentage. He, on top of that, was a very efficient three-point shooter, which is why he was in the 40-50-90 club in general. He was not great on defense. However, he made that up for his incredible passing and offensive skill.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Makoto after my amazing opening statement.
Yes. I think we're going to do like a quick
your rebuttal.
Or a rebuttal. So, hey, I'm just going to say, Chris Paul ain't no slouch when it comes to passing. He was a 4-time assist champ. I know Nash was 5, but Chris Paul ain't no slouch when it comes to passing either. Again,
He is leading the league as of right now.
He's leading the league as well. He is not a bad. Well, of course, they're similar types of players. They're like insane passers, great shot creator shooters, and everything. But I think where Chris Paul stands out to Steve Nash is his defense. I'm going to highlight a lot of his defense stuff. Again, 9-time all-time defensive team, 6-time steal champ, and I'm going to compare. One stat I love to look at is like win shares, especially offensive, defensive. One thing I can say about Chris Paul that Nash does not have is that Chris Paul in his career has had a total of 50.8 defensive win shares to Nash's 16. That shows how impactful his defense was to the teams he played on compared to Nash. And again, Nash was 50-40-90, insane offensive player. I can also say offensive win shares when it comes to Paul was 139 compared to Nash's 113. So Nash may have been an overall great scorer, but the impact of Chris Paul's offense when it came to his teams, I think, was more impactful compared to that. And again, I'm not putting down Steve Nash's shooting and Steve Nash's scoring ability. I'm just saying I think overall impact of Chris Paul's offense. is going to be better. I think a little bit better because, again, 20 win shares is not, I mean, overall in a career is not that much, but I think that puts it a step ahead. And I haven't not even mentioned a couple other things. Example, the All-Star
pause you real quick to,
Yes.
to debate something with you.
Another rebuttal.
Wait, can you save it for once I finish my opening statement?
Sure.
We can do like a quick little counter arguments like they do in law.
Yeah.
So I still want to also, we are going to do one counter argument after this, but also I have not mentioned that Chris Paul has 11 All-Star appearances over Nash's 8, and then Chris Paul has 10 All-Star All-NBA appearances compared to Nash's 7, and overall points per game, Chris Paul was 18 points per game in his whole career to Nash's 14. Again, this is including the years when they started like fall off, and their tail ends of their careers out of their peak. And again, I think Chris Paul in his first 3 or 4 years was all rookie teams, and he made Rookie of the Year when he got into the league, scoring over 20 points a game with the Pelicans. Again, this is with the Pelicans team with nobody. And again, Ryan, James was saying to me before the podcast, Chris Paul only had Ryan Anderson, so no wonder why he was able to score so much when he was a rookie and in his early years. So that's the only thing I can say about that. But he was still scoring 20 points a game as a young player in the NBA, and that's insane. I'm going to say that. But yeah, that's all I really had to say, and I'm going to head to you for the counter argument.
So I wanna first preface let's talk about the offensive impact that both of our players have. I agree with you. I think that you have stats that genuinely back that up. That he had a higher impact.
Call me Max Kellerman.
However, impact is different from efficiency.
I agree.
Ooh, that's fair.
That's a fair argument.
And Steve Nash was a much more consistent and efficient player on the court compared to Chris Paul. What do you have to say?
You would know about that after
I do.
Chris Paul.
Do you have
with
any
Chris
other
Paul
before I say something about that?
Well, I have other things to
Here,
talk about.
say
I
it.
just figured that we would have talked about.
All
it.
right.
Well,
Well,
back
I'm
and
just gonna
forth.
back it up.
Like in law.
Hey,
you said.
again, yes, like in law.
Just like how you said.
So you just say efficiency. I'm looking at true shooting percentage. Nash was at 60% true shooting. Chris Paul 58. That is very minuscule difference when it comes to efficiency. When it comes to overall shooting, because true shooting does count in free throws, 3-point, and regular field goals.
It matters for the 40, 50, 90 club. That's what I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's also why he's at 60% compared to Paul's 58. And again, it still shows that Paul was a decent shooter and scorer when he was in the league. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Shooting is pretty good.
I'm not saying that he's not a good shooter.
We're comparing
I do
very
think that-
minuscule
very
jumps.
I mean, that's the thing at the end of the day. I mean, both of these players are going to be very comparable and interchangeable at the same time because they are kind of similar to each other, which is why we can have this debate. If we had KD versus, Muggsy Bogues, that would be ridiculous.
Yao Ming
make any sense.
Debate Yao Ming versus Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah, we could have that one.
Oh
We
my
have
God.
The tallest player versus the shortest player.
But anyway, continuing on with my point, my point here was that Nash is a much more consistent player than Chris Paul, and especially in recent years. Going into my other point, last year, Chris Paul choked the finals. I did not appreciate that at all as a Suns fan. However, I do appreciate his time on the Suns as a Suns fan. But barring that. Let's flash back a couple years because you had mentioned his time on the Hornets. I want to mention his time on the Clippers.
Hornets and Pelicans, both. But yeah, you know what I mean.
When was he on the Pelicans?
He was on the Pelicans for a short stint before he went to the Clippers. He went Hornet. He got drafted by
Pelicans weren't.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure. No, it was the New Orleans Hornets.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you're right.
Anyway.
You're right. New Orleans. I'm sorry.
Come on, doesn't even know his
caught up
facts.
with
Right
the times
city,
too
right
much.
city,
guy.
right city, wrong team. Right
This
city, wrong
guy.
team.
Anyway.
Right city, wrong team. Not saying that.
So he was on. So before or after the Hornets, I should say, when he went on to the Clippers, he had a solid team. He had DeAndre Jordan, a young DeAndre Jordan that was athletic and wanting to get into the
Very athletic DJ compared to what we have now.
Genuine,
I mean,
a genuine
this man
player
knows what's
that
up with this.
actually
with the new
wanted
DJ.
to
Last year
score.
DJ.
DeAndre Jordan.
Oh God.
And so on top of that, he also had an upcoming, all-star in Blake Griffin and a tremendous player who is sucking terribly now. But anyway, that team was a very disgusting team that they could have done some damage, and they ultimately did not get past the second round at any point during their time in the playoffs. Whereas Nash would go up against Kobe and Shaq every year in the playoffs and beat them. No, they didn't win a championship, but they beat some of the hardest teams in the NBA during that time. And Chris Paul could not even beat into the second round.
But wouldn't you say Steve Nash had Amari Stoudemire?
Yeah, he did. He had players around him.
Yeah.
I'm saying Chris Paul also had players around him, and he couldn't do anything.
Chris Paul did play with Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, who were in their primes at that time.
Comparable. Let's compare Amari Stoudemire to Blake Griffin.
Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, all players on the Clippers that were very much impactful.
I would have to do my research because again, my son's knowledge goes back to the Barkley years. I have not much knowledge about Nash's teams back.
I can tell you who was on Nash's team. It was Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, Vince Carter.
Vince Carter was on the Suns.
Sean Marion. Leandro Barbosa. I could name off a bunch of 10 other players that were impactful for our teams. And I'm not saying that it's any excuse for the Suns to not win a championship. We definitely should have won a championship in 07 when the Suns got tricked into when Robert Horry threw Steve Nash into the stands and broke his nose and ultimately cost us 2 of the games that we definitely should have won that series. But I'm not going to get too salty about it. Anyway.
Salty Suns fan.
Anyway.
He's fine.
Yes.
He's fine.
Even though Chris Paul did go to the finals last year, and I do think that is worthy to bring up.
I'm going to because you can see it. It's really loud.
I do think that with that and barring that, he did not win. And he was ultimately the biggest blame, I would say, on us not winning that.
So Nash had a chance. Chris Paul has never made it close enough. But I think I want to close it with this because I think you know what I'm going to say. But I think Chris Paul with this team, with the Suns right now, with Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, and DeAndre Ayton, and plus in the same bench, Landry Shamet, this team could easily make the finals and win.
100%.
If they fix a few of the kinks that they've had, problems they've had in the beginning of the season. And again, I'm going to say this, I'm going to end it with this. If Chris Paul wins a ring either next year or next year, all time better than Steve Nash.
And I think that is a good place to end the debate on because I would agree with that.
I think that would be
for right now,
unarguable.
But for right now, it's open ended. Y'all can decide in the comments. Y'all can discuss between yourselves. But I think Chris Paul is overall better. Again, also I'm going to bring up the defensive players. Nash is the GOAT to James, but I think Chris Paul is better. I've been a CP3 fan since Lob City, so we will see how he does this year or next year. So that is the end of our little debate segment. Now we have a little fun rapid fire segment.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
So, as you guys may know, the new City Edition jerseys just dropped for the 75th anniversary. Yes. So, we're pretty much just going to go rapid fire through all of them, alphabetical order.
I may have some comments about the Celtics one, but that's it.
Yeah, whatever. Cry about it. We're going to call this Copper Drop. All right, you want to cop this jersey?
City jersey.
Drop it?
City jersey Copper
Drop. All right,
Drop.
So this is the City Jersey 75th edition. So I guess we'll probably start with you, and then we'll just go in line.
So also with this, if you want to see the actual jerseys, we'll post a 10-minute segment later. We'll actually have the actual jerseys posted up here, so you can see what they are while we're talking about them. So yeah, just to preface that again, look out for those 10-minute segments on YouTube. We'll have everything visually there. So let's start with it. Atlanta Hawks. What are we saying? I'm saying drop because this jersey is absolute dog water.
Drop.
I would have copped it.
God damn it! Really? I would have thought it was a clean sweep.
The only thing that I don't like about it is that it's yellow. Everything else is completely fine about it, honestly.
That's the yellow was the reason.
Rapid fire. We got 30 jerseys to go through.
Celtics jersey. Drop. That is garbage. What is that? Celtics graphic designers, hire this man to make your jersey because he probably can make a better jersey than y'all.
The shorts look like a skirt.
Yeah, they do.
That's
it. They look like an apron.
Yeah, that's it.
Like an apron.
All right, that's it. Hire this man to make your jerseys. All right, next one. Brooklyn Nets.
Cop. Not just because I'm a Brooklyn fan. This jersey is hard.
Yes,
I love this.
I love that it's going back to the New Jersey.
It's another throwback because they did the throwback last year as well.
Yeah.
So I'm loving it.
Hey, clean sweep. Cop. Charlotte Hornets. Honestly, I'm gonna cop it just because I like the style of having those honeycombs and it represents the Hornets. And also, James will say something different, but I like the fading colors, so that's just my opinion.
Drop for me.
That's a drop. I'm not a fan of the gradient shit that they do. I didn't like it with last year's Miami too.
I like that jersey.
I don't even mind the gradient. One thing I will say that actually is nice about the gradient is how it flows in.
Sure,
but I don't know, just not for me.
Just not for me.
Those honeycombs really do sell it though. If they had no honeycombs on that, I would say drop. Yeah. But that sells it for me. So hey, Chicago, cop. Again, classic.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
it.
it goes back to the 1980s look. I fuck with it.
Oh, and the next one is Cavaliers. What are we saying? Drop.
Definitely
You can
drop.
look when you see it in the thing. Drop.
It looks
All right.
like a practice jersey.
Yeah, I don't even know. It looks like a high school jersey.
High school jersey.
Like my high school.
Middle school jersey. Not even high school. I think middle
like
school.
a middle school jersey.
All right, Dallas.
Cop.
I'm thinking.
Fuck yeah.
What?
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
thinking drop.
kidding
I
me?
think drop. I mean,
You gotta be kidding
it has
me.
some good. Hey, it has some good elements. I like the cowboy hat on the
Instant
D.
drop.
I'm saying drop, but there's some good elements
I
there.
don't like the green.
I used to have green jerseys.
They
Yeah,
used to-
I just don't like it.
Yeah, their
I
old
do
city jerseys from last year were all green.
and I did not like that either.
I don't like that one, but I
Not
think
a
they'll.
fan.
I love the cowboy hat on the D.
Yes, the
I
cowboy
mean,
hat on
the
the
cowboy hat
is
I can get behind, but
I
just
fuck
the
with it.
green. I don't like the green.
Yeah.
I think it's a subtle add of green, and I think it's nice. I
great.
like it.
Ooh, Denver Nuggets. I'm gonna say drop just because I don't understand where the color like rainbow colors come from. If this is like a Jazz jersey, low key, if this was a Jazz jersey, I'd say cop. But this
Honestly,
is a drop.
I'm also gonna say drop because I'm not really understanding where like the discotheque thing comes in. You know, like it makes it look like. I mean, honestly,
James, do you
no,
have cop
I'm
or drop?
gonna say drop, but
I'll cop it, and the reason why I say I'll
Confused.
cop it is because that has been like a huge thing that since they've done since like the 80s. So I mean, that's been on like most of their jerseys that they've had. So I'm totally.
I'm
all
not
for it.
liking the like where it's placed.
I mean, yeah, where it's
that's
placed
true.
maybe could be
Because
different.
I'm pretty.
but, like,
What did they do last year? Didn't they have the
they-
rainbow on the with
letters?
Yeah,
That
that's
was-
what I like
yeah,
that one.
that was
for sure.
All right, Detroit Pistons. I'm gonna say drop. I don't even know. I'm so lost with this jersey.
Fucking drop.
I see no
Yeah.
direction. There's no
Honestly,
direction.
Why
I
are
mean-
there lightning bolts on the
I don't,
jersey?
the lightning
That's what I'm
bolts
saying.
definitely confused me. I was gonna say drop as well, but not. I mean, you guys were. Pretty
also I'm dropping. My mic was muted, but drop.
nice.
So
You guys were pretty quick to it. I mean, I don't hate it, but I am a little bit confused about where the lightning.
I
bolts
like
come
the
from.
jersey rather than I do the whole uniform. It's just more of that, like, I'm not catching the drift. I definitely think that's better than last year's where it was like all gray and it said Motor City. That was terrible.
Yeah, those were weird.
Even
Even though I do like the Motor City, but
Well,
not,
yeah,
not the
yeah,
gray,
yeah.
not the gray.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Also, with the next one, Warriors, cop. But also, I wonder what the pants look like because this looks really good. And again, it throwbacks to the old Warriors shirts with the lightning bolt.
Yeah, this
So-
one's a cop for me too.
It's a cop
I
for
like
me.
I like the black.
For me, I just miss the 2000 like orange and blue that they had. Like it just worked so well, and I don't know why they like stopped doing that. If this jersey honestly had that colorway, I'd be all for it. But I'll go with like a minor drop.
Minor
this one.
drop.
Yeah.
All right, cop. The next
Also
one.
because it's the Warriors. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
Next
that's
one,
true.
Houston Rockets, cop.
Cop.
Classic.
Cop, 100%. It's
Instant
classic.
cop. This is a great one. I absolutely love what they did where they brought it back from like Charles Barkley era with the pinstripes.
Yeah.
And then I also like how they incorporated the Rockets, like the newer Rockets logo on the side of the shorts. I love this jersey.
Yeah, cool.
Next one with the Pacers, I think the same thing, cop. I like it.
100%.
I like the classic Pacers jerseys. So that's on.
I do miss the pinstripe.
Unless you have something to say about it.
The Pacers one. I mean, you guys have been fans longer than I have, so you would appreciate the classics more.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I'll say cop. Not.
He's
'cause
influenced by our class, our old head mentality.
Here. Honestly, I wouldn't really have an opinion if it was just myself.
There you
If
go.
I'm being honest.
Oh God, what is this one? Drop. Clippers.
Clippers.
Los Angeles Clippers. Drop.
Yeah, this one's actually no. I was gonna say cop for this one. I'm not gonna lie.
I like the red over the light blue. I'm not a fan of the light blue Clippers.
I
no.
do
I'm a
not
fan
mind
of
this
the
one.
Lob City 2000s light blue. Not this one. This one I don't know what
It
this.
makes me feel like they're trying to rip off the Chargers.
That's
all I feel. That's kind of how I feel about it. But
I mean,
like,
it is, you know.
No, it's the same place. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like I don't know.
I like it when sports teams in the same city kind of like mesh together like that a little bit. You know. I'm a
Yeah.
fan of that.
I feel like be unique.
I think unique. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it's like they kind of did, you know, do the unique thing.
No,
They
for
brought
sure.
like the 2010s, like the font back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, I'm liking the orange. I don't
Yeah.
mind the orange at all.
Yeah, that's
I like
true.
it. This is a cop for me.
Yeah.
I could go either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way.
I think it's a drop for me. But next one I would cop in a heartbeat. Lakers purple.
Fat drop.
I like
in my
that.
opinion.
I like that.
Fat drop.
I
It
think
would
they could-
it would be it would be a cop if it was actually like I don't know level. And, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
Like it kind of just looks like somebody half-assed the jersey in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with drop.
I'm still confident. You guys are starting to make me lean towards drop. I still confident.
I don't hate it because of the lean thing.
Just as a graphic designer,
that's
it's
so
so
bad. As
bad.
you mentioned it,
We
that's
have a graphic
hilarious.
design major here.
But no, I just do not like this purple at all.
Yeah, as an artist, it's just terrible in my opinion. So I can't.
I'm not a fan of this purple. I feel like this purple doesn't match with the rest. That's what I'm saying. It's just only purple.
Yeah.
You know, like
Fair
the
enough.
Lakers. I know they got purple, but like
Also,
come on.
like if you're gonna do the Minneapolis look, like use the baby blue that they have. Like that was
True.
like their old Minneapolis like look. So like, if you're gonna choose one, do LA Lakers or Minneapolis Lakers.
Yeah.
Kinda,
yeah, not a fan.
All right.
Not a fan.
Next one, the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm saying cop. That looks tight. I'm liking the access. Pause.
Yeah, pause.
But the I like the design accents like on like the neck and also like.
I've always
waistbands.
loved what they. This is a cop for me as well. I like this one, but I also like how they brought back the old Grizzlies logo with the bear. That
Yeah.
I think I'm
seals
confused
the
why they
deal.
got rid of it in the first place.
Seals
This is 100% a drop for me
Oh my
if the
God.
logo wasn't there. That
Oh, do you wish the
Vancouver
accent?
logo is
Do you wish
so
they mirrored the
cool.
accents on
So
the bottom
tough.
of the pants? You see like the stripe on the
Yes.
bottom.
Yeah.
They should mirror that.
Yeah.
No.
But I don't.
yeah, wait, that's all a stripe on one pin.
Yeah, I don't.
That doesn't make a lot of
I
sense.
don't like this jersey. The
wouldn't
only
wear
thing
the-
I like about it is the old.
I wouldn't
Vancouver
wear the
jersey.
pants. I'd wear the jersey itself. So that's all
Okay.
my opinion. But the next one we saw it at the Miami Heat Celtics game.
Nasty.
Miami. Yeah, this is Miami jersey.
Goddamn. I want to say Cobb because it has all like the old retro lettering, but it's a little too. I think it's a little too crowded, right? I think you would agree.
There's a lot. This is a drop for me as well, and I was kind of on the cop train last night, but then I watched them play in it, and also
Yeah. Okay,
the
No.
numbers. Did you see the numbers?
The
on
numbers
jersey?
were-
The numbers are different fonts. Like
Yeah.
each number is a
But
different font.
hey,
so I
but they
wasn't
did really good
rocking that.
with the floor. Do you see the floor? The court when they
The
played
court
the Celtics?
was nice. The court was
The
nice,
court was
but
nice.
no, I'm not. This is a drop.
I'm gonna say
for me.
drop.
This might be one of the most disgusting jerseys I've ever seen in my life, honestly. I think that it looks like somebody just took like magazine letters and
Oh,
put it
it's
on
a
the
magazine
jersey.
cutout like activities
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do when
yeah,
you're a
like you
kid.
did when in like
A literal
middle
murder
school.
mystery like type jersey.
Yeah,
and
this
it
is like
just
some
looks like shit.
psychopath lettering.
Yes.
deal.
All right, next one. Milwaukee Bucks drop.
For once, I
Drop.
can
Drop.
fucking actually say fuck a Bucks jersey other than Cream City. This is terrible.
Okay, the Cream City just confused the hell out of me, but this one looks like it belongs on the Hulk as opposed to Giannis, which I guess is kind of like the same person.
Yeah,
but
it just
I'm
I don't
just not a fan.
I
of
don't
this
get the
one.
weird blocks on the side.
I don't like the. I feel like to me the purple came out of nowhere.
the
we should
lettering
also- we
is
should also-
nice, but other than that, everything else about the
We should also
jersey
speed up a little bit
sucks.
because we're only halfway through and we're like past the time that we want to finish. But okay.
No, we're not halfway through. We have like almost the.
Oh, we do? Okay, well, anyway,
Yeah,
we're trying to keep
probably.
these at 30 minutes. I don't want to go past like 45, but we'll see. All right, Minnesota Timberwolves, cop.
Drop.
Cop.
Cop.
What? Really?
It's the same thing as the Grizzlies, but they did basically what the Grizzlies jersey should have looked like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
All
just
right.
not
Anyway,
into it.
Next one.
Next one. Pelicans, cop. It's just classic. I think I like the classic.
I think
just lame.
drop because they did the exact same thing last year.
Yeah, it's just lame.
They did the exact same thing.
Looks cool. I didn't look at the one last year, so it looks cool to me, cop. And then, Knicks.
Knicks
Cop.
cop.
Cop, it's
Cop,
a cop.
yeah.
That is
Classic
that is,
orange.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Orange and
That's
black
tough.
is. Oh,
Okay,
oh my
see.
god, what the heck?
OKC is a cop for me. I know some
I
people
don't like that. I don't
some
like the
people
all
were
white.
complaining it's too white.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of
That
that.
was a fat drop for
Yeah,
me.
it's a fat
I am,
drop,
I am
yeah.
loving this jersey.
Because
I'm not
OKC has
gonna
so many
lie.
colors to choose from that they can like make a lot with
Which
it.
is why I think that the white jerseys on
Okay, do you
their
want to go
blue
this
court
get
is
this
gonna-
faster, or do you want?
Yeah,
to
sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
you're the one
Sorry,
that told me how to
I
speed
know.
it
It's
up.
just all white. Okay,
No,
Magic.
I'm liking the OKC
Yeah.
ones.
Magic, cop.
I'm
Cop
fine with
for
it.
me.
Yeah, I'm fine.
It's
with
basically
I
the
like
old
this
Magic jerseys with orange instead of blue. So I'm gonna cop that.
it. Yeah, I cop it.
Sixers. Actually,
Terrible.
Drop.
Drop. I don't
Fucking
even know.
drop in
I don't even know what that's from.
heartbeat.
What is that? What
Terrible.
is that? What is
Yeah, I'm not
that?
liking this at all.
Who? All right. Suds cop.
Drop because it's the same thing that they did last year.
I don't
I mean,
care.
sure, but like
It's the
that,
same.
they
I'm still
changed up.
confident.
They changed up the shorts. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine with that. But like, yeah, it's the same thing as last year. I loved it last year.
I liked it last year, but I want them to
Yeah.
do something different now. So
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
I'm so confident. Anyway, Trailblazers. That's an interesting one. I could go either way. I'm gonna say I'm going either way.
This
So I'm
is a
gonna say
drop
cop.
for me.
I'll back a cop.
I'm
This
gonna
is
take
a
a
drop
cop.
for me. I don't know why.
I think it's very. I think it's a very simple concept. Got the Rip City and the logo and the text lettering is looking nice. So it's just a cop.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be a drop for me.
Damn.
Cop.
God, what is this? What is this
Sacramento jersey.
What is this?
I like the colors, but I only want to drop it because it says Sacktown, and I'm not a big fan of Sacktown.
It is called.
I'd cop it.
It is
I
called
like it.
Sacktown. I'm gonna drop it.
It brings me back to Jason Williams era. So you know, Chris
Fair.
Webber, all that kind of shit. So I fuck with it.
It does. I don't know. They could have done something different, a little bit different.
Spurs. Cop immediately.
I like this one.
Holy shit!
This one looks nice.
It
This is
looks-
one of the
honestly,
this is one of the nicest jerseys.
This one looks like what
Okay.
Miami's or Orlando's jersey should have been.
Well,
in my
also,
opinion.
I'm gonna say it's a minor cop, but like it just doesn't. I mean, I guess I'm used to the Spurs black and like gray and stuff. Like it seems very off, but I think it works because it's.
Well, I like
it's
that
like-
they finally were like, okay, let's
use another
something
color.
else. You know,
Yeah.
I like it.
So
I'm a big
fair.
fan.
Dude, gold Toronto. How are we feeling with the gold Toronto? Jersey?
This is a cop for me because I know that they did the gold in previous years, but now
Yeah.
they brought in the old logo with
Yeah.
the gold.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really
I
liking.
fuck
with it. Yeah.
I'm
There we
liking
go.
this one a lot.
Utah Jazz. Is
Drop.
it the same? That's the
Same
thing?
exact jersey.
I'm
as
still
last time.
copping, but it's the same
I'm-
jersey.
I'm-
They could've
I'm
done
I'm not
more
gonna
with it.
cop it.
I'm bored
And
with
also, it's the same problem with the shorts. The shorts got two different pants.
Yeah,
You know the same
but
thing
I'm
with
focusing on the
Memphis.
jerseys, but like the pants, I'm gonna mildly critique just because like we can, we have the access to them. The last one,
Wizards. Do something else other than the exact same Bullets jersey that we've seen for the last 10 years.
Did the Bullets have any other jerseys that were cool?
Just like change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just
I
do
like this
something.
one. This is a drop.
Yeah, it's
Drop.
100% a drop because we've
Alright.
seen it so many fucking years.
He gets
like
very
this one.
mad about this the same.
I'm
he
just
gets,
saying-
he
I'm
gets
just
heated
saying.
about the graphic design of it.
I'm
Yeah,
just
he
saying,
does.
like you can do some like old school like Bullets thing. Just change it up a little bit because we've seen the same two stripes on the same
Two
blue
stri-
jersey
two
for the
stripes.
last like 10 years. I'm tired of it.
All right.
Yeah, this one. I'm not a fan of this one.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I think. I mean, it
They did
seemed
pretty
like
well.
It
They
seemed
did
like it
pretty
was
well
about,
overall.
I was gonna say it was about like 75-25 in
Yeah.
terms of good jerseys, 75%.
Yeah.
You know, like the teams that didn't do well, in my opinion at least, were teams that I did not expect to do well. You know, and then I was also surprised by a few. Like,
Yes.
I mean, you guys swayed me with the Pacers. Looking at it again, I do like that one.
Yeah.
Like San Antonio, I thought that they were gonna put out a crappy jersey, but
Yeah.
no, I was pleasantly surprised with some of these.
Yeah. And again, that's our last segment. We're trying to keep these short, and we're trying to reduce the amount of segments we do. So I'm glad you all came. We're hopefully have some more stuff coming in the next week because we actually wrote down a few segments we want to do. So
Absolutely.
you'll be seeing those in the next coming weeks. You'll definitely check out the 10-minute videos on YouTube if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Music. Leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Obviously, I keep mentioning to say that. Like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. We will see you all next week.
Peace.